Okay, welcome back to our second edition of Summer Tech Tuesday. And today we are going to be looking at the Canvas for Elementary, the new feature that Canvas has rolled out. So if you have not joined our Canvas for Elementary group, please feel free to do that. You can join at any time this summer. We're just kind of playing around and testing out the new features to see what we think about them. So today, Talisha and I are going to go over some of the new layouts that Canvas for Elementary has. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, so you are now looking at the Canvas for Elementary dashboard. As you can see, it looks a little bit different than what we're used to. Make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, it has a more kid-friendly theme to it, a more kid-friendly font. You'll also see up at the top we have tabs that say homeroom, schedule, grades, and resources. You can see that at this announcement here, if you're part of our group, this was an announcement that I sent out Monday morning. And so it shows up at the top of the student's dashboard now, as well as the teachers. If I scroll down, instead of saying courses, it now says my subjects. And these are just like my normal dashboard. These are my published courses. And if I keep scrolling, these would be my unpublished courses as a teacher. The student view is going to be any course that the student is enrolled in and published. So if a course is published and the student is enrolled, they will then see that course tile pop up here under my subjects. Okay, so let me go over a few of the different features of the dashboard. Okay, so in the new dashboard, the first thing that I want to look at is how to add a course, because it is a little bit different. In the new Canvas for Elementary dashboard, if you scroll down, you're going to, instead of seeing the menu here on the right side like we normally do, or down at the bottom if you're using a smaller screen, you're going to just see this plus sign that says start a new course. So if I want to create a new sandbox course or just a new manually created course, I'm going to click this plus sign. When I do that, it may ask you to choose which account this course is going to be associated with. And if you click this drop-down arrow, you may see multiple accounts. To be able to use the Canvas for Elementary dashboard, we wanted to go ahead and create a new account for that so that it did not mess with our campus accounts. So you may see this Canvas for Elementary beta. This is going to be the account you would want to use if you're wanting to create one of the new Canvas for Elementary courses. And if you're just creating a traditional sandbox course or a course that you're going to use on your campus for next year, you could create it at your campus level account. So if you see multiple accounts, that's what that is for. So for today, we're just going to choose this Canvas for Elementary beta. And then just like in the other, the original Canvas dashboard, I would just type in a new course name. And click Create. Okay, so you'll notice it looks just like what you're used to in your normal Canvas account. So you would come in and you could choose an image or a specific color for your course, as well as a start and an end date. Everything looks the same as what it does in your normal Canvas account. And then once you've selected all of your settings, you would just click Update Course Details. Now, one thing that I would like to show you while we're in the settings is the homeroom option. So in our dashboard, the new Canvas for Elementary uses what they call a homeroom course, and it's kind of like the landing page in the student's dashboard. It is only used to send out announcements You can also have important dates or resources in your homeroom course. It is not a course that is meant to add content to. So you would not use like a reading course or a math course as a homeroom type course. But to create a course, if you were going to create a sandbox course to use as your homeroom class, you would designate that as a homeroom course in your settings. So remember, I just created this new sandbox course. I'm in my settings, and all I would need to do is scroll down and click the box that says enable homeroom as, or enable as homeroom course. And that would make this course my homeroom course for Canvas for Elementary. And then I would just click update course details. I'm not going to do that now because I already have a homeroom course designated, and we're going to go in and look at what that entails. Okay, so, and another important thing is when you do, if you have a homeroom course, well, when you designate your homeroom course, for students to be able to see your announcements or anything that you publish to your homeroom course, you still have to come up here and publish the course. If you create announcements in a home and you've designated a homeroom but it's not published, your students still won't see those announcements. Okay, so let's go back to dashboard. Okay, so this view is the homeroom course that I have designated. I created a sandbox course in this Canvas for Elementary beta account, and I labeled my homeroom course Canvas for Elementary Group. I did this so that I would remember that this is the actual homeroom, the kind of the landing page, and not the course that I want to add my content to. Okay, so we have homeroom. If I had important dates that I wanted my students to be aware of, I could add those to the schedule here. They could access grades, or I could access grades here. Any resources that your students have in any of their courses would show up in this resources tab, as well as in staff contact information. Now remember, I'm in my homeroom course and not a specific subject yet. So to get to your homeroom course from the dashboard, they have a link here for you. You just click this link and it will open up that homeroom course. Now you'll notice in your homeroom, you've got limited tools here in the navigation menu. Your homeroom course is only meant to be used for your announcements and things like that. You're not going to add content to this course, like I said earlier. So as you can see, these were the 2 announcements I've added to the course. Announcements will stay in your homeroom dashboard for 2 weeks or until you add a new announcement. So this first announcement that I added would disappear after 2 weeks, or since I've now added a second announcement, as soon as I publish that second announcement, it will remove this first one from the dashboard of your students. So they would no longer see this announcement. Just like your other courses, you can add your students or any other people you would like to add to your course here under the People tab, as well as you have your normal settings that you can set here. Okay. Let's go back to our dashboard. Okay, so now this is our, like I said, this is the homeroom course. Now let's look at the actual subject tiles. And so in the dashboard, when you scroll down, you will see, as a teacher, you see your published courses. For your students, these tiles are created by any course that they are enrolled in. So for your like elementary, your students normally they have a homeroom course that they're enrolled in, as well as a reading, language arts, a math, a science, a social studies, and possibly even like their specials classes, PE or music, as well as a homeroom. So those individual subjects will now have their own tile. You no longer have to create your little buttons in one course that link to others. So their courses will automatically show on their dashboard for them, and you would just go into those courses and add your content like you normally would. So they're kind of creating the buttons for you. On these course tiles, once the course is published, any assignments that you have added to that course will show up on the course tile, and it will tell them, what they have due for that course, as well as any missing assignments that they have for that specific course. And also, if there are any announcements that are specific to that course, such as like your specials, or if they're in maybe a student group that has its own course in Canvas, those announcements for that specific course would show up on this course tile as well. So it gives them a nice little overview just by looking at their dashboard. All right. Talisha, would you like to go in and start talking a little bit more detail about the actual courses?
Sure.
Right, let me stop presenting. All right, all yours.
All right. Share my screen. Okay, so I am on my dashboard, and I'm going to scroll down to my elementary Canvas course. This is the only one that I have created in that elementary beta account. The rest of my courses are in, they're in the classic version where everything works exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead. Mine is unpublished right now. We'll publish it in just a second. And I'm going to go over the main differences in the classic Canvas versus the new elementary Canvas theme. For the most part, the way you add content is exactly the same. There's just a few little caveats that you'll need to be aware of. First, in order to edit anything or add any content, you're going to see this Manage button at the top. The global navigation is hidden from us. So you have to click the Manage, and then all of your tools will pop up. So this is where you'll go and you can add in your pages and you can add assignments and whatnot here. I'm going to start with settings. I want to show you a couple of things in the settings tab. So course details. Now, Lindsay already talked a little bit about this, but there's a couple of things I want to point out. Number one, the image that you put here as your course tile also automatically populates the header on your homepage. So that's probably what I have spent the most time doing. Adding my content to my course to show you guys today was pretty easy. It was manipulating and trying to figure out exactly how to get my course tile the way I wanted it. And for anybody wanting to know, and I think Lindsay used the same thing, Canva, and you can get a free educational account if you have never used Canva. And I used the Google header or Google Classroom header to create my course card. And this is a GIF or GIF, however you say it. I say GIF, but you can upload GIF, PNG, or JPEG. So you can see there's a little bit of movement on mine. And you can choose your color. And the colors come into play on the schedules and on your actual course tile, specifically on the schedules. And you'll notice the stuff that I'll show you in just a few minutes are going to be in this yellow color. But on the home page, when students have multiple things from different courses on their schedule, each class that has their own color will be denoted on the schedule. All right, so once you've made any changes here, update your course. And again, mine is not set as a homeroom course because mine is a subject course. All right, so your sections and the navigation and the apps are all exactly the same. If you're going to cross list, you would do that here. Your navigation, this is everything that's already included in my class or course, and I want to move a few things down because I don't want Apex on there. So remember, anything that you don't want your students to see, you're going to drag below. They do not need to see new analytics or attendance. I'm going to just pull a few things down to kind of clean up. Let's see. All right, I'm going to leave the rest. I'm going to click Save. Your app pages is still the same. This is where you can add Flipgrid or Edpuzzle or any of those things that we've used as an LTI. So that's exactly the same as your classic Canvas. And then your feature options again is exactly the same. I will note that for you to be able to, you want to make sure that you have enabled new quizzes in order to use that in your course. And I do have a new quiz in mine, so I made sure it was enabled. All right, so that is your settings. I'm going to kind of switch gears and go to home. So like I told you a second ago, my course tile was automatically creates my header. And I did have to play with spacing and font size of my letters to make sure that it all fit on the course tile and on here. If you noticed, I had the dots, the colored dots across the top and the bottom. They were just out of range, which is fine. I liked my header just like this. So I re-uploaded and resized my header multiple times to get it exactly like I want. So that's how much time you spend on that is up to you. I tend to get in those little rabbit holes occasionally. All right. But so let's talk about your home page. You don't have to make your header. That's already done. But we want to set a home page, and you do it exactly like you would in your classic Canvas. So again, I go up to Manage, and I've already created a page, but I haven't set it yet. So I'm going to go to Pages. So here's my page that I created. And two things have to happen. Well, all of your pages that you'll create will be here. I've only created the one, and this is the one I want to be my home page. So one, it has to be published. And once you click Publish, you click the three dots on the side, and you'll see Use as Front Page. And this is exactly how you had to do it before. I just want to go over those things with you. So now I'm going to click on Home, and my homepage has been added. And this is my Bitmoji classroom that I made last summer. We need to update it a little bit. The items that were in our navigation that we moved around, and it looks exactly like our homeroom page, so that it's consistent around for each kid. So they're not going into each class and seeing something completely different. Especially with elementary, I feel like consistency is very important. So they have the same things: the schedule, the modules, grades. Modules, I guess, wasn't on there, but grades and resources. I'm going to kind of skip over to the end. I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to start with resources. So all of those items, if I had not moved them below that line, they would all show here. So if I go in and I decide, oh, I really don't want the NSISD homepage on my resource list, I can go in and drag it below and it won't show. When as students have grades, that'll be listed here. You can also view your grade book from here. And my test student has done some assignments. I see here, test student has taken a quiz, made an 80. They've submitted a summer assignment. I haven't graded it yet. And there's one assignment that's yet to be completed. Those students, when students will click on there to see their grades. And modules is exactly the same as your classic Canvas. You'll click the plus module button and add it exactly the same way. And then start at filling in with pages and assignments, just like you did before. So that is completely the same. So that was good to know that you already know how to do this.
And a quick reminder on that, sorry to jump in, Talisha, but if you will drag your most current module that you've created that you want your students to work in and move it up to the top, that way your students don't have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to find their current module that they need to be working in. So that's, Talisha and I have always done that, and we know that some of you may have already been doing that last year, but just a quick reminder that makes it much easier on students and parents to know where they need to be working from. Instead of, once you get to about October, November, you've got a long list of modules. So if you'll just move the most current module up to the top, it makes it so much easier for your students to navigate the course.
Absolutely. So I'm going to delete this module because I really don't need it right now. All right, so I have these three assignments, and notice that they all have due dates on them. In order for your students to be able to see items in their schedule, you do have to create a due date. So I'm going to click on schedule. And as of right now, I can't see anything. And one of the questions I know Lindsay and I have, and we're going to ask our rep when we have a meeting with her later this week, is if I have an item that I haven't graded, that things that need to be graded, is that going to start showing up here? I tried that with my test student and it's not showing, but it may be different for actual students to be showing up. So that's something that we're going to figure out. You know, of course, we're learning this right along with you. We're definitely not complete experts on this elementary Canvas just quite yet. So in order for students to see their schedule, or you to see what the students see, you're going to click on Student View. The Student View is at the top right. You'll see that button. It's going to take me to the home page, and I'm going to just go to Schedule. So anything that has a due date and is an assignment will be listed here. So these are the two things that my test student has already completed. And notice it says this one's graded and this one's submitted, and it already has the check mark. And this did not show up on my course tile as anything due today because I had already completed it. If there had been items to be completed, it would have shown up on my course tile. So tomorrow I have an assignment that's due. Okay. So again, make sure you put due dates in order for it to show up on your student schedule. I'm going to leave Student View. The next thing I want to show you, and this is the biggest difference as far as one of the bigger differences in how to do announcements on your subject page. Now, Lindsay kind of talked about it a little bit ago. I'm going to click on, I'm on Manage, and I went to Announcements. You create an announcement exactly the same way you did prior with Classic Canvas. So I'm going to just do a test. Type, you can add your media, your video, whatever you would like to do in your announcement. I'm going to just keep it simple for today. All right, so I have my announcement. And if I go into, and you want to know, you go to your home button. It takes you back to our home page. You don't see the announcement there at all. Let's click on Student View so that we can see how the students would see it. I know Lindsay talked about this already as well. But if you click on Schedule, did I not save it? It should show up as my announcement. Hold on just a second. Posted.
Go try your dashboard. Is it on the course card?
It should be, but it should be showing up here as well. I'm going to have to go in and see what's going on with that. But it should show up here, and it should have the announcement. You know what? Let me check one thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. This is just proof that we're learning with you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
And Canvas is actually, if you join the Canvas for Elementary community, they are kind of building the plane as they go, because any suggestions that we have on things that may help it to work better, or different ideas that we may have, or things that aren't working correctly, if you submit those in that community, they are very good about, trying to get those things added, or, get those bugs fixed. So they have a weekly update that they post each week that'll tell you what's coming and what they fixed, and some new features that they're looking at deploying. So if you haven't joined that community yet, it's a great resource, especially for this new, I can't even talk now, this new platform, this new Canvas for Elementary, because they're wanting to hear our feedback to see what's working and what's not. Did you check your navigation settings and see? I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be showing up, but.
Oh, well, anyway, it should show up in your schedule. when you go to Student View. And then it should also be on the dashboard on the course tile. It's there. There's something going on with Canvas today.
Oh, your course isn't published. Is that why it's not showing up?
That shouldn't, because it worked for me yesterday. But we'll try that. Let's publish. Let me go to settings. Just making sure there's not anything here that. One more time. It's showing now. Maybe that was what it was. So make sure your course is published. Yeah. You can also see these colored lines in your schedule. If you're on the home page and you have students have multiple assignments assigned, each one will be noted with the different colored lines on which course. Okay, so now that you've seen me fumble through it just a little bit, I'm gonna leave my student view, go back to dashboard. Again, the main differences with elementary Canvas are your manage button, and then how your home page looks as far as your header is automatically populated from your course tile, and then the way your menu tile or your menu is not on the side. It's some tools are across the top, and then others are hidden in your manage button. And then always, always, always use that student view to check everything. Like just then, if I hadn't checked that, I wouldn't have known that it wasn't showing for my students. So always use that student view. It is your best friend, yes, literally on this. And that's all I've got.
Well, that was a good little troubleshooting tip there. If something is not looking the way you thought it should look, or if you've posted something and now you're not seeing it in student view, go and check and make sure that the item that you're wanting to post is published, as well as the course.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up. As we talked last week, you can find all of our resources on our new digital learning website. So I'll go back and share so I can show you exactly where to go. Okay, so this is our new website that we have posted. If you have not gotten to see our new website yet, the link is in the last EISD Tech Talk newsletter that we sent out in May. So you will find that it's also on our homepage here, but it is on that last newsletter. If you just click the image, it'll take you straight to the webpage. To navigate this webpage, the menu options are here at the top. You'll see staff resources. Before you even start that, if you join today's session and you would like to receive some staff development credit for that, if you click this link, it will open a Google form for you. You'll just enter your last name, first name, choose which campus you're from, and today's session is listed here. Just click that and submit, and we'll get that added to Eduphoria for you. Okay, so on the website, if you click the staff resources, and then you'll see Digital Learning PD. Okay, this is just the homepage for our professional development that we'll be offering. You'll see a schedule that we've created for the rest of the summer for each of our Tech Tuesdays, so you'll know what's coming, as well as that initial little flyer that we posted in our newsletter. The link to join each week is that same link, as well as a form that you can fill out here if you have specific requests for certain trainings that you would like us to include. To find your any trainings that we've already presented, you can come back up to staff resources. You'll see a little drop-down arrow next to Digital Learning PD, and then you'll click Digital Learning PD Library. So in this section, we will have a brief overview of each session that we've had in our Tech Tuesdays, as well as inside of this slideshow, there are links here for you. So for the dashboard overview, if you click on the word dashboard, it's going to open up a quick little summary of everything that I went over in the dashboard overview. I also have a Canvas for Elementary FAQ page that we've created. It's a little Google Doc since we didn't have the option to use a chat box today. If you have questions about anything that we went over today or anything in regard to Canvas for Elementary, feel free to add that here. And Talisha and I will come onto this page and answer those questions for you, or we can always give you a call or email to answer your questions as well. We'll also keep this open for the rest of the summer so that we can use it as a reference to go back.
Number one needs to be publish your course.
Yes. You'll also see we have the next few sessions that are coming up. Next week, we'll be looking at Chromebook 101 and then digital resources that you have available. And then the last session in June will be over digital citizenship. We've also linked some resources for Canvas for Elementary that come straight from the Canvas community. So they have their own FAQ page that has helped us out tremendously. We check that often. If you've not joined the community, you can click on the Canvas for Elementary community link and it will give you the option to join. And you'll also see these helpful links here on the side. And then they also provide a feature overview. This is excellent. I actually used this quite a bit when we were getting ready to launch Canvas for Elementary because it breaks down everything, just like it does in those help guides in our original Canvas view. It has everything broken down for you to help you step by step. Okay, and then Talisha, I'm not sure, yours is linked too, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so everything that Talisha went over, if you click on that course layout, you'll see her little guide here of everything that she hit on today in the overview of the course layout. And then I have linked last week's Tuesday session. And then once this week's link is ready to go or video is ready to go, I'll have that here as well. Or you can go straight to our Digital Learning YouTube channel. And we've created a playlist specifically for the Summer Tech Tuesday sessions. So you can find all of them on our YouTube channel there. And again, that's on our EISD Digital Learning website. It will house everything that you need for digital learning throughout the summer as well as starting next school year.
Awesome.
All right. Did I leave anything off, Felicia?
I don't think so. Oh, how long will the Google form be open? Till 11?
Yes, we're going to leave that form open, accepting responses until about 11 o'clock today for you to be able to earn your PD credit. So go ahead and get those filled out and get those submitted, and we will give you your credit to you in Eduphoria.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. And like I said, go to that digital learning website, and you'll find all of our resources that we shared today, as well as once this recording is ready to upload, it'll be linked there as well. So we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Bye.